Welcome to the table, a safe, sexy, and unapologetic space where Black joy, creativity, community, and pleasure are always on the menu. The Unfriendly Black Hotties are here to educate and stimulate, and we love using our words to amplify Black voices through bold, unfiltered conversations. Here at the lunch table, we keep it flavorful, colorful, and always authentic, diving deep into erotica, kink, love and intimacy, and romance. We're not here to compromise our truths. We're here to get off. So turn us on. Lunch is served.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lunch at the Unfriendly Black Hotties Table, the podcast where we don't apologize for taking up space, speaking our truth, or getting a little naughty. Let's get down to the nitty gritty before we, your favorite Black femmes with too much to say and zero time for respectability politics. Around here, we're both sharp and soft, hot and unfriendly, depending on the day. This week, we're reflecting on something we need more of, subs and yearning. Turn us up, take your time, and maybe keep your hands free. This is Lunch at the Unfriendly Black Hotties Table. Press play and don't be shy. Welcome, everybody. This is our third episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Loud applause. Woo! We're going to sound a lot more excited in a minute, I reckon.
Oh, goodness.
So let's introduce everyone who's at the table today. Camille.
Hello, it's Madame Camille Coco. Hello, my first episode. Long time hottie at the table.
Welcome.
Yes.
We're excited you could be on this one, babes.
Me too.
Summer.
This is Summer. Favorite yearning song is You Got It Bad by Usher.
Camille, did you have a favorite song that highlights yearning?
I did. I was going through two, but I decided on one, Druid Hill, Tell Me What You Want.
Okay.
Tell me
Druid Hill. Yes. Do the high step.
Yeah, that is good cardio.
Yes.
Regina. That's a good one.
Hi, everyone. I'm Regina Starr. My yearning song is Please Don't Go by Tank.
I heard that one on Sirius XM the other day. It still smacks. That's a good one.
Yes.
That's a deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
Triple S.
Hi, Triple S, sexy super spy. Hi.
You're a musical gal. Do you have some of your song that perfectly depicts yearning to you?
I think a good yearning song is Down on Bended Knee by Boyz II Men.
Oh my God.
A classic. We're gonna have to make a playlist.
So good.
We should.
Do.
I was talking about starting a WBQC Spotify. I'll do that today.
Oh.
It's not a bad idea. Hey everybody, I'm Trisha Cheeks. I had a deep cut that's a little bit on the poppy side. It's More Than That by the Backstreet Boys. It's on Black and Blue.
I dig it.
Yeah. They were begging a lot in the early 2000s.
Taste.
Okay, so we said the name of this episode is Baby I'm Begging, Baby I'm Begging, Begging, Baby, the Art of the sub. Topics we're going to talk about are explanations of submissive and dominant roles in relationships, what submission and submissive mean, and why this topic matters, and some keywords. We're going to dive deep into the smutty, intimate things that make yearning so desired. We're going to talk about it in various parts of pop culture, and this part we're going to cut up. Good and bad hot takes, and this is where it's going to get a little spicy about what is and is not good or bad in the yearning department. And of course, our tenderoni of the week. And if we get to it, audios that hit or miss the mark in this department? Ladies, are you ready?
Let's go.
Let go.
Ready.
Okay, so what does submission mean? Per the book Playing Well with Others by Melina Williams and Lee Harrington, submissive means the act of ceding control, quote unquote. What does submissive mean? Per the same text, it is an adjective that means the quality of ceding authority or influence, and a noun, an individual who surrenders control in a power exchange dynamic. Why this topic matters. We're seeing submissive tropes throughout pop culture, especially with the long-running book talk craze. We see these trends being mimicked in audio erotica with tags referring to books talk or something likely to trigger an ooh to many of those who might be into that specific keyword. So the keywords we're probably going to be bouncing around are submissive, submission, soft top, yearning versus begging, which is going to be one of our main hot takes. And that, hey, guys, or people who identify as male, it is okay to let your guard down and be soft, because we're not doing it to punish or hurt you. We're trying to learn from you like y'all are trying to learn from us, we hope.
Unless it's consensual, we're not trying to hurt you.
Yeah. I mean, unless they
were
want
like a little pain.
No, yeah, that's true. But in this context, I know one thing we talked about was that, we
For
don't
sure.
like when people weaponize
Absolutely.
in sub and try and, take their angst out on some sweet and
Absolutely. Yep.
So what is it about yearning that gets us all in a tizzy, as it were?
Not the evil laugh.
I love fighting the evil laughter of this group.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
How the yearning.
Go ahead, Regina. I know one thing for me is that because wow, M sub is delicious. I learned about myself a long time ago that someone saying please in a semi-desperate manner is
Soul
folds me
food.
up like a chair at a barbecue, as one might say.
Amen.
I like that. Still in that.
Yep.
And just like that whole of somebody needing you so desperately that they're not afraid to do whatever it takes to garner your attention or affection. It's just, mama likes.
Yeah. I'm very, very similar to Triple S. Yeah, it's the person, it's the swallowing of pride, if you will. A lot of the R&B that yep. A lot of the R&B jams that gave us the yearning that we love really talked a lot about the swallowing of pride, hence the musical interlude. Yeah. And yeah, it's that needing of someone so desperately and conveying it, giving, saying it outright, and expressing it in a way that maybe they normally wouldn't, or maybe it's a way that wouldn't normally be seen to their peers as, I don't know,
as a weakness for showing emotions.
Yeah, for showing emotion, for actually showing that you want your lady. You know what I mean? Showing how and why you want your lady, and conveying it that way. That's hot for me. Yeah.
Especially with someone like me that has like a rejection sensitivity. Someone yearning for me, making it very clear, makes the intimacy better, because I'm not questioning myself like, okay, so he really does want me. This is great. I'm into this now. As opposed to if I don't think that, or I'm left questioning because they haven't made it clear, I'm completely out of the moment. Like I'm just here just doing something sexual and I'm not clear about how that person feels. But if there's a build up and like it's all day, like can't wait to see me and be with me and smooch me and loves my body, I'm all for that action.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I think for me as well, one of the things that's really awesome, because as a switch, I tend to like to be with other switches because I really do like a dominant partner, because in life I am a dominant person and it's exhausting and nobody's trying to do that all day, every day.
Nope.
But because of how much trust it takes to be with a partner who's generally dominant, and then they are able to be submissive with you because they have that trust in you, especially for like a masculine partner, for them to be the masculine and like that all of the time and to lay that down. And like Regina was saying, like being able to show their emotions and express those things and express need and want and hunger. It's really hot to me.
Yeah.
I love the idea of hunger. And I was just thinking when everyone was kind of laying it out, that's why the whole Regency thing, people are so caught up in it. That genre, that whole thing, they do yearning really well. But I think that's a yearning that comes from repression, about the yearning that comes from somebody really wanting you and really, really just like losing their mind. Um, and it's very, very much about you and the way that they feel about you. And I think for the whole dom and sub of it all, I think, at least for me, kind of like triple S, it's a moving state because nobody's one thing all of the time. Um, but yeah, there's something really exciting about someone in a male body or male presenting body who feels comfortable enough to be vulnerable to submit. Um, yeah, that I don't know why that makes me um, fall into shambles. Just shambles. Shambles.
A shambles. I love it.
Yeah.
I want to double down on the the masculine figure, or the person who is male presenting or masculine presenting, when they are usually dominant and then they switch to submissive from that dominance. I've heard it in audios, and you kind of, I haven't read it yet. There's probably a ton of things I can read, but I'm hearing that in audios just turns me inside out. It's one of my favorite things when it's someone who's like normally dominant or presents as dominant normally, and they go into submission and are immediately, it's that there's just something about that. So I'm doubling down on that. I think more than one person has that same feeling here. So yeah.
I like the vulnerability. I think because I think about how masculinity, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of limited. I think with patriarchy and misogyny and all of those things, it kind of we often hear about how some men feel like they can't show emotion and they can't be open in that way. And so I think for me, like the vulnerability aspect connects with me the most because it shows that that person is really pushing away from the norm and what is supposed to be masculine and redefining it in their way. And I like that a lot.
What even is masculinity anymore?
Girl. That's a different
problem.
The
blood
whole
pressure.
episode. That might be a part.
My blood pressure.
No, I just got my medicine re-up. So
Can we go back to something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I was going to say not to be messy, but I'm very much being messy.
Be
Fuck it.
messy.
Do it.
It's true.
So we referred to a little moment of clarification about what submission is or is not, and what power dynamics are and are not. I remember a moment after the most recent election,
Mm.
Oh.
uh, and there was some calls from the audio erotica community for some reading
Hit
of
those
the
notes.
room, yeah, in a specific way, and that meant that the male VAs or the male presenting VAs were supposed to, provide a certain kind of content to soothe the hurt feelings post said election. And that content should have been M sub content, allegedly.
Hot take review number 1. This is
Oh.
one we talked
Yep. This was
about.
on the agenda, girl.
So go ahead and keep
That's
going. We'll just
right on it.
segue into this. This is a hot take right here. I like it.
And
Mhm.
the calls were giving plantation mistress. They were giving
Ooh.
power over, and they were giving uh, just entitlement, a weird entitlement. And it was also ironic. It was also ironic given the hand in uplifting the patriarchy that some of their sistren had in certain outcomes.
Can
So it
you
was wild.
you brought up a really interesting term, which is plantation madam or white plantation madam. Can you synthesize that in 30 seconds for those who will pretend they don't know what it means?
I
Oh,
most certainly can. Would you like to assist me, Triple S? Because what I was going to say is we know that in the bad old days of human trafficking
mm,
and triangular trade enslavement,
yes.
uh, a lot of the people who were running said plantations and uh, terrorizing enslaved people were white women.
They absolutely were.
Yeah. Take it away, Triple S.
Take it away from me. Um, yeah. So, and because of things that I do still involve people who are doing things not at their own accord often. Yeah. So during slavery, a lot of times there's a lot of discourse and there's a lot of history obviously that gets covered up in our fancy Western world. And in narratives and in movies, you see a lot of mistreatment of slaves coming from white male slave owners. And a lot of times, there was just as much, or even more so sometimes, mistreatment from the wives of those slave owners. Um, and and they were even more cruel and vindictive sometimes than their owner husbands were for many different reasons. And we don't have to go into the whole history of the United States and why all of us are different shades of the same brown. Anyway, but yeah, so oftentimes because of hurt, because of jealousy, there was a lot of punishment that happens towards slaves. I remember my father even telling me a story, even after emancipation, like black people were still not even allowed to wear certain colors in some places because it upset the white women that the black women looked better than them in certain colors. Um, which was an interesting conversation to have with my father, who grew up in the South, who went to, a segregated high school, as did my mother.
And I just want to pick up on something that you said about punishment. I think
Yeah,
that when that whole moment happened,
yeah,
it also reflected the carceral nature and the punitive nature of how people approach um, power exchange and power
yes,
dynamics, and
yes,
also male submission. Um, And to me, none of those things should be punitive. None of those
Absolutely
things
not.
should be
That's
forced.
a really good point.
Absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not.
Submission cannot be. It's not submission anymore if it's forced.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what it is.
Right.
Um, Submission is a gift.
It is a
Yeah,
gift
It's a
it is. It's
gift.
based
the
on
key
mutual
word in that.
trust.
Yeah, the key word in that is
Well,
eating. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
giving it. It is literally a gift.
A
To your
gift.
point.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
As a person who is a switch, who is often dominant, like to be my like fully submissive self, I have to trust you. And if
Trust.
someone tries to force that on me, they are going to
Mm-hmm.
get all of my aggressive energy,
Mm.
all of it. Like the people who are the fake doms who try to slide in your DMs and like, I'm gonna
come
be
on
your
and talk
daddy. I'm
about
like,
it.
you
Talk
are
about it.
about to get cussed out.
Yep.
Right.
Is what you are about to do. So to see that within audio erotic, to see people who are angry and really wanting punishment because of their feelings, I'm like, you cannot. It's not submission. It's
Mm-hmm.
abuse. You're
Mm-hmm.
forcing somebody to now submit to you. Very telling. Very repeating of history.
Yeah, it is very telling. And the thing that bothered me the most about it is that people didn't understand the severity of the situation. They thought, oh, this is a joke. This is
Oh no, yeah. They went straight into it. They were like, this should be happening now. That's what they did.
it just
And then and then that whole like, well, your feelings about a statement that I'm tired of hearing around the audio erotica community is your feelings are valid, because some people need to be told to stop, and we don't like to do that. Like, yeah, your feelings need to be sat down with a therapist and worked through is what they
Oh,
need to be done.
yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people in this community need to understand that their liberation can't come at the expense of somebody else's oppression. And it
Woo!
just doesn't, it doesn't
Say
work
that
that way.
again. Say that
Can you
again.
Hallelujah.
repeat that? Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Say it
Sounded
again.
good. A good word.
Your liberation cannot come at the expense of someone else's oppression. Because what you're looking for is power, and you want to take the place of somebody else that you think is in power over you. That's all you want.
Mm.
And we don't do that over
Mm-mm.
here.
You don't have no interest in freedom, so stop
No
pretending.
facts.
Mm. Y'all wonder why I be doing my little church lady hum over here. Girl.
Oh, well, well.
Right.
Exactly. A little run
I'm
on that
adding
one.
church fans to the WBQC month.
Where
We
the
need a we need a we
fans
need a
at?
church organ.
Me.
Right.
Little
The
Big
amount of
Reed.
ministering being done up in here
Right, because
on
somebody
this
just
good
preached.
Sunday, because I heard a word.
Preached.
I heard a word or 10. Yeah.
Somebody get the
Turn to your
tambourine.
neighbor. Turn to your neighbor and say,
Neighbor.
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 Your come up cannot be on my downfall.
It can't. It can't.
I think that's a good segue into like the next hot take about the word simp.
Oh, I hate that
Um,
word.
so I think the first takeaway from the hot take that Camille introed us into is that um, the white woman power dynamic of demanding M sub is whack. That's the takeaway there, right?
Mhm.
And there's systemic racism built into that, and it was highlighted, especially after this last dumpster fuck of an election.
Mhm.
Perfect. So simp used to demean or make a male identifying person look weak. When someone is already trusting you enough to be themselves and like, open themselves up to being ceding their submission to you, calling them a simp just because they yearn and love their partner doesn't make them a bad person. That makes them emotionally intelligent, right?
Mhm.
How about that?
You
But
know?
it doesn't even have to be their partner. Just loving and respecting women does not
Yeah.
make you a simp.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I see that, like, I see that so much online. They're like, oh, she's not going to give you any, just if a man is agreeing with a woman or is respectful to a woman. It's just
Russell Wilson. The
Mm.
way they were talking all kind of nonsense about this man
Still do.
Genuine, and still do.
That man is
Calling him
raising
out.
another man's child, and they
Exactly.
still talking about him.
Still talking about him. I
And
mean,
doing it happily, might I add.
doing it very well, doing it happily, smile on his face the whole time, giving him all kind, just any opportunities that he'd like to have. He's got them, and very present. And for whatever reason, him loving up on his black woman day in and day out, showing her
Well, that's
nothing
the
but
reason.
respect. I
It's
mean,
because she's a black
seriously,
woman.
that is absolutely the reason.
They don't want to see a black
They
woman.
don't want to see it.
They don't want to see her being loved and respected because they think that
Right.
her being, with somebody else before she got with Russell and being a single mom means that
Right.
she's precluded from respect and love.
They were so happy to see her struggle with that dusty ass, whatever the hell. They were so happy to see her struggle with him. Like, they really wanted to see that continue to fall apart, and the fractures continue to take place in her family. They still want to see it. They're still talking shit about her to this day. With, what is it, four kids later?
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the thing is, like, what is the other option then, though? Okay, like,
right.
don't be a simp. Okay, don't be all about the person that you're
Right.
about or the people that you're about. So what is the other? Be
What's the
nonchalant.
option?
Yeah.
Right.
I think men, they romanticize a time, like the time when women didn't have rights. And like,
Oh,
oh, our grandparents, they stayed married for X amount of years and da 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 da. And it's like
Mm,
when women didn't have rights and they had to be
willingly?
married to, be able to survive.
Yeah. Where literally she was tied to what her man had, what her husband had. She would not even be considered a part of society without being attached to that man's name. That time, yeah, no.
Or when you could have a line of credit, even though that's not the greatest thing to have. I mean, that was like the
Mm.
70s
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
when,
Yeah,
that was
Yeah.
very recent history.
right.
And also, I think very close to the simp charges are the pandering charges.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like,
it's like a cousin of that. It's
it is.
they in the
A
Mm-hmm.
same
dusty,
family.
dusty cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I hate. I think it's so silly. Like, how did we get to the point that showing how much you care for or about somebody became a negative thing?
And then they wonder why there's this so-called male loneliness epidemic. They
I
wonder
think
what.
it came out of that. That's a symptom of it. It's a bad symptom of the male loneliness epidemic because I think they think that women are supposed to fall to their feet and make them chase the, like, men want to be chased now, which is fine. Because sometimes I get tired of these dusty ones trying to chase us. But I mean, over the years of trying to catch a man or catch someone's attention, and they don't get it to you the way they want to. Now all of a sudden they're asking what we bring to the table when women are the most educated and paid that they've ever been, still underpaid, quite frankly. But now you want to ask us what we bring to the table and not expect us to want you to want us the same way we do. Is odd. So when we do get a man, like, even some women will be like, I don't want this man simping over me because they've never had a good communicative, a lot of folks have never had a good communicative relationship, so they don't know what it's like to have someone genuinely into them. So they think that's a turn off for some people too. Like, I don't want this. You're all over me. Like, why are you doing everything I would want you to do? I want to complain.
Yeah. And
Um,
and then they hide behind these like so-called gender norms. Well, women just think differently. Well, women this and
yeah,
women that, and it's like, no, you are a human
Mm,
being who should
right.
understand the basic tenets of how to respect another
Oh,
human being.
absolutely. That's what I was going to
Mm.
say. The basics are missing. The communication, the trust. A lot of that is missing in the way relationships are built. It's just like, what? Why? Why is there that lack of connection there before we even get to any further place of trying to establish anything with someone?
Mm.
They're not just, I don't know. That's
The definitions of simp online are very telling. I'm only going on Urban Dictionary because they always have like a dozen at once.
Mhm.
The first one is someone who does way too much for the person they like. The second one, obviously created by a guy, a man who puts the hoes before the bros.
what.
And then the third one is a word that everyone overuses without the correct definition. It means a guy that is overly desperate for women, especially if she is a bad person. Why does she have to be bad?
What?
Or has expressed her disinterest in him, which this person is not very smart. ChatGPT must have wrote this one. Or has expressed her disinterest in him, which he continues to obsess over. They're usually just virgins that will accept coochie from anyone regardless of who they are.
Wow, that's
Ooh,
mad work.
I can't
ChatGPT
find
wrote
myself
Gucci.
back now.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Oh boy.
So I think it's also, that's the demeaning part. Like, is it demeaning to, it's demeaning on a lot of things, demeaning to the person you're calling a simp, but to the object of their desires.
Right.
Like, why we got to be hoes?
Why do we have to be hoes? Why do we have to be
Mhm.
bad? Like you're only
Yeah. Why is it that, this woman
Nothing
doesn't
wrong.
want this dude,
Right.
so he's a simp for even trying?
First of all, shout out to the hoes. I
Yeah,
love the
shout out
hoes.
to
yeah.
them.
Shout out.
Hey.
Shout out to the hoes.
Because
Shout
the
out.
hoes got something going for them.
Yeah. And the
Mhm.
other thing too is like we started talking about yearning and M sub, but the reason why we're talking about why we like it and why we want it is really because look at what's going on.
Yeah.
People are not getting it. You know, it's this whole, I don't know. I hate to use the word toxic masculinity, but this I feel like it's more like men have been socialized to not be human beings and not to treat women like human beings and not even to treat each other like human beings.
True.
And so, like, when we're saying, hey, we love this yearning, we love this vulnerability of submission, and we get this, this toxic stew of bullshit. Like,
Gestures widely.
yes,
Yeah.
I literally gesture.
All this shit, you know?
My hands were confused. My hands were like, what's
All right.
happening? What is the world?
I think they don't believe that we know what we want.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness. Yes. The amount of times I've seen that bandied about online. Oh, she don't know what she want. Oh, they just don't know what they want.
It's like, so for example, like, I don't know any, woman, even if they're not like straight, who doesn't like Pedro Pascal.
Right.
And
Pedro.
you
Oh,
will see
I will
men
give him my
online.
number anytime.
Mhm.
Just,
really not
give him
Just
right
the
number.
number, because I'm gonna give
I
it
give
to
him my
him.
address,
I mean,
my blood
and
type,
Him something
keys to my
he can
house.
keys
feel.
to my Beamer.
Does he need a kidney? Because I mean, I can
Not a
Does
kidney.
he need a vagina? Because
I'll give a kidney to my man.
just throw your cat at him. Just throw it.
I'll make it over.
Does his face need to be kept warm?
His face
Like,
needs a muff. I have a muff. It's protected by a fupa.
The smile on your face.
I feel like you had. I feel like you did have a point, Summer.
Yeah, we got
Sorry.
No, my point is that I'll see men online, they'll say, oh, they only like him because he's rich and he's famous, or like we'll point out the things that we like about him. We don't know him as a person, but we can see just like from like how he is in interviews and what other people say about him, like the qualities that he possesses. And we talk about how like, oh, these are the things that we like about him. And they're like, no, that's not it. And I'm
That's
like,
it.
what do you want?
Right.
I just told you.
Is the hottest thing. I just love when people stand up for their relatives and their loved ones. This is support for his trans sister, who is gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very beautiful.
That's the hottest thing about him, I think, besides them little curls. And
that
His
nose.
nose is just perfect.
his nose is cute.
He can put that shit on too.
He can literally wear anything as
can
well.
He can wear whatever he
anything.
wants.
Listen,
Especially
And the
my
voice.
you know, clothes or no clothes, the tree still needs to be climbed. Okay, so
And when he speaks Spanish, like,
oh my goodness, and it
Can
comes
we
out of
not talk
nowhere.
about that? Thank you.
It's always in.
I'll learn.
Poor Camille. It's always in a random interview, but the Spanish will slip out just a little bit.
they're in Mexico right now. I shouldn't know this much about this man, but they're in Mexico right now.
He's all over
And
the internet. It's hard not to.
he's doing like interviews in Spanish,
Oh my
Wow.
and
goodness.
it's been wonderful.
Can't wait to see all of those pop up.
But you know what that reminds me of? I hate dating apps so much. And because of the interactions that I've because of the interactions I've had with men on dating apps. And my most recent crash out where I was like, oh, this app has to go right now. I was talking to a guy, and I'm quick-witted. I like banter. We're going back and forth. And me and this particular gentleman, a term I use very loosely, we're just kind of bantering a little bit. And it was funny to me. And then it got to a point in conversation. He's like, "You're very quick-witted." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." Because I took that as a compliment. And he was like, "It's exhausting." And I didn't even know what to say. I kid you not. That was his response. And I was like, oh. I was like, well, I'm like this all the time. So
did he clarify? Like, is he just slow, or maybe that's not?
I don't think he was slow. I mean, he may have just wanted.
He don't have the range. He can't.
Yeah. And I was like,
totally
so having intelligent conversation is exhausting to you.
What?
And he's like, yeah. And so he
fool.
unmatched with me. He unmatched with me after that. Like he
Thank
couldn't.
God.
He doesn't deserve you, obviously.
Correct. But it was such a weird interaction because I was actually enjoying the conversation, being the sapiosexual that I am. Like, if you can carry on an educated conversation with me, I'm likely to do any number of acrobatic things.
Launch panties.
But
God, I love you so much.
and I remember I was talking to one of my guy friends about this, and because he was asking me, he's like, how is dating and things right now? I'm like, it is hot garbage. And so I told him about that, and he was like on the ground laughing. He's like, are you kidding? Like, somebody told you you're quick-witted as an insult? Like, wow, you seem like a really fun and intelligent individual. No offense. But like that is what is happening in interactions a lot of times with men and women. And I just didn't even know what to do with it. I'm like, I have to delete this app because I will light somebody on fire.
So it's
And
not even
that's why.
Yeah, that's why I deleted them years ago.
Yeah. So it's
And
not
that's
even
why they're out there with their hand on a long, cold night.
Or pocket pussies if they can afford them.
Yeah.
Sock.
Yeah. And fortunately for me, I've had other online interactions that were very much the opposite of that. And so it does keep my hope alive a little bit.
But that's just right back to the basics. Communication.
It's just the basics.
What?
Yeah.
The app shut my hope down. It's a terrible place. It's like the 10th circle of hell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to generalize, but should we put out the other hot take that we're all kind of dancing around here?
Whining, not being yearning. Yeah.
Well, that one too, but straight men. Not the flicks you think it is.
Is straight men overrated?
Oh,
That's a good one. We may go into that.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Topic.
I mean, since I'm already being messy, let's just
go ahead.
Just dirty.
Let's roll all in it. Roll
overrated.
All in it.
Now, one thing I can tell you from my and this is something I've thought about recently, is that even when I was on dating apps, I always bi men scared me. But now that I'm into I've learned a lot about myself and in my relationship, I'm just
Let me get one of them.
I think I'm into that. I don't know why it intimidated me at first because I think it was going to be like a competition, like, okay, who wants this dick more? But it's really more of a going back to like our first episode, like toys are friends, not foes. You know, multiple. You know, a helping hand is a helping hand.
Right.
So are straight men overrated? Why? Well, that's a good thought.
Yes.
Hard yes. Period.
End of
Full stop.
discussion.
Cut
No
the
more
podcast. Cut it
conversation
off.
needed.
Is it because like straight men are falling into those traps of like this really? I mean, toxic masculinity is the only thing I can really think of, but
The red pill.
yeah, very ingrained, stereotypes of how a straight heterosexual man could be. Are they fucking up their own sex lives?
Yes.
They're afraid that they might like a dick in their mouth
or a finger in the butt.
Or just let me peg you, please.
I've always wanted to peg someone.
I mean too.
Heard it takes a lot of work.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
does, but I'm a hard
But I
working
mean,
woman.
my hips have the range. I got this.
Hips don't
Hip
lie.
thrust.
Start to feel your boy.
Look, if
I know
guy
it's more
can
than
do
just
it,
hips. I know it's more than just hips. But
if a guy can half-ass thrust, we can surely do
period.
For sure.
We got this.
For
We
sure.
got it.
For sure.
Not half-assed.
that. Sometimes they're half-ass. That's not my case, because I'd be like, "Come on, Diesel." You know the sounds I like.
Oh my God.
Listen, I had an older than me black woman tell me once. She was like, "Don't date straight men," and I laughed so hard because I was like, "What does that mean? What do you mean? Don't date straight men?" And the more that I've been around, like non-binary, bisexual men, I was like, "Oh, okay. I think I understand now. Like I get." Because it's the thing we were talking about just with MSub anyway, like not being afraid of your emotions and how to express and how to feel and to ask for the things that you like that seem like, well, straight men don't do that. Like
there's some strict barricade around.
Yes.
With straight men, there's some weird strict barricade around all of that. There's no if they are going to let anything out, it's like pulling the teeth of a Tyrannosaurus Rex in heat. Like it's like how it's impossible. So, but whereas with any other man, like with any other man, whether it's a bisexual man or non-binary individual, they're it's not like pulling teeth the same way. You're gonna get more, in my opinion. There's not that barricade because they're not adhering to those strict, I don't know, that hetero.
Those strict norms.
That strict hetero norms. Yes, the heteronormativity.
Yeah.
And
Well,
shout out to our favorite pansexual prince, Peaches. Shout out.
Oh, he's so cute.
Oh.
Shout out.
Oh.
Peaches.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, also shout out to Jack Black. I love Jack Black.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
bet Jack Black could sub like a god.
Oh
I
God.
bet. I can't
I
think about
love
that.
a husky
I can't actually think about
Yeah.
that.
I don't want to see. I don't think I want to see that.
The rock and roll screams. The rock and roll screams. He lets out. I'm sure he's got it. He's got
Jack
it.
Black's hot. He doesn't get enough. There's not enough thirst.
It's because it's unconventional. Because he's like
it's unconventional
a little
hot,
grubby, chunky.
Is he like a hear me out? Like
yes.
Okay, so next episode when we do the ramble yap, we're gonna have a hear me out.
Hear me out.
Okay. Yeah.
The next episode is gonna be a Yamble rap for those who a ramble yap, which is just
Yamble rap.
Just remind me that I cannot say Keanu Reeves for everything.
Well, you
can
hear me out. That's the
Safe
point.
space.
Feel your feelings, bitch.
It's a safe
love
space.
him. I love him.
But he's not a hear me out though.
Have you?
Exactly,
He is
that's
sometimes. He has some really terrible.
For
movies, but I'm
whom?
gonna watch them. I'm gonna watch all of them.
Are these
That's
people
my
that
business.
might
But
be
he doesn't
racist
have a
and
terrible
don't like
face.
Japanese because his name's Keanu?
I know Samoan.
Oh, he's Samoan?
His
No,
father
he's
was, I believe.
Chinese. I think he's
Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Wasn't
gonna Google it.
one of
Yeah.
his parents Samoan?
I didn't know
No, I
anything
think
about
he's
his
Oh, he
nationality.
did grow up in Hawaii, didn't he?
Did
he
he?
I think
did.
Yeah,
so.
he's Canadian,
Yeah.
first of all. I can't believe he's 60.
He's Canadian?
He's Canadian.
That's what Google says.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
Canadian.
I swear there are
I
a
know
lot of
he is
undercover
60.
Canadians
He
in
is
Hollywood.
60.
that man
Ooh.
damn near raised me. I know
He
shit
did.
all about him.
Born in
Mhm.
Beirut, Lebanon, and raised in Toronto, he made
Holy
his acting
shit.
debut in the Canadian television series Hanging In.
He's a man of the
Wow.
world. He's literally a man of the world, and I know
Uh-huh.
nothing
Born in
about
And,
him.
and,
Lebanon.
and he plays the bass like a
He
brother.
does play the bass.
He does
He
what?
does. He plays
And he
Slap
has
the
an
bass.
age-appropriate wife.
Oh,
Yes,
and
and
listen,
Amen.
I just need a chair in the corner of that room. I just
Although
want to watch.
if I ever step out with Pedro Pascal, nobody say anything about me not being age appropriate. Thank you.
Look,
Girl.
it's age appropriate because I'm older than you, and I would like to see
Well,
that.
y'all know I can't say nothing. Anyway,
Yearning.
yearning.
So those are
Right,
some
how
people
about that?
who yearn or that we want to see yearn. Besides our raunchy fantasies. Speaking of yearning, what's the difference between yearning and begging?
Begging is a subset of yearning.
It's
Yearning
the action.
is right. Begging is the act, the action word. What you are doing within the frame of yearning is begging.
So begging's good, whining's not.
I
Begging's
think
what?
yearning is a state of being.
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah. That's a good
Yes.
thought.
Begging is
should
what you got to
snap.
do.
Yearning is a state of being.
Mm.
Like an incense just let off.
Yeah.
Snaps.
Because when you yearn for someone, you don't mind to beg a little bit. Ain't too proud to
Yeah.
beg.
Baby, please don't leave me, girl.
Like, can we talk? Oh, like, can we talk? Are we gonna talk about audios at all? Are we gonna talk about yearning audios?
We're gonna touch
Oh,
on them.
we're going to talk about yearning audios, indeed.
Because it just makes me think of, and I know we talked about some, but like the Anani audio, the car liaison one. It's like the long distance relationship, and he didn't know if he was going to get to see her, and then they meet up, and it's like they don't have much time. And the classic line when he's just like, "Can we cuss? Did we decide if we were cussing
Can
on
we,
here?"
Girl, what?
My fault. Listen,
What kind
I
of
thought I was at
fucking
church.
question is
My
that?
bad. I forgot. We had a church moment earlier. I didn't know. I forgot where I was. Anyway, but Anani was like, when he's like, "Can I fuck you?"
I just clutched my pearl.
Oh my
And
god.
and the way he said it was like, please, I am going to perish if you do not let me in this right now. And I'm like, I don't think I can breathe.
Who gave him
I
motherfucking
know.
right?
I know.
Who gave him the right?
But the way he says it, it's just like he was so desperate.
What's the name of that audio?
Car liaison. I'm pretty sure. I'll go check and make sure though, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Yes.
But it's a good one. It's a good one.
I feel like what's the one? Naudio has one. It's like an apology one.
Yes.
Naudio has a few. Naudarius,
Devante Sound.
Devante, Francois.
Oh,
y'all keep saying the Darius. We're gonna have to explain our fan theory.
they know who he is.
Naudarius.
We don't have to explain
You don't have to explain anything.
Fair enough.
Because they're gonna get mad. Y'all speculating about what his identity is. No, y'all just
And you're
we
just
want to be on
correcting
that.
them, and you're just being so weird.
No one wants to be on that whack ass subreddit.
Like, don't call that white man black. It's insulting.
They're so aggressive, these black girls.
Okay.
Entirely aggressive, I'll tell you that.
They're so mean. They said they were unfriendly, but we didn't believe that.
They said they're not angry, but they're angry all the time.
That voice is
you sure bet.
Hysterical.
It takes a lot to look this poor.
Who's Megan the Stallion anyway?
Meg.
Meg?
How do you say her name? Meg, bitch, it's
Is it
500.
I hate
Megan?
Meghan Markle. She's so
Megan?
evil.
Megan.
Megante?
Megan.
All I know is
Yeah.
if I would
Please
have
forgive
known,
me.
if I would have known Prince Harry was gonna marry a black chick from America, I would have tried harder.
For sure.
Facts.
For sure. For
Well,
sure.
he's black
Well,
too, so
he was
That's what they
crushing on
say.
Rihanna real hard one time. I
Oh,
thought it was
He
gonna
is a
happen.
prince. He had a chance.
He
he had
really
a
did.
chance.
He fumbled that bag hard.
Shame.
But I would rather have the
Big shame.
spare than the heir because I don't want to be like Camilla.
Right. It's too
Camilla
much
gave side
responsibility.
bitches everywhere too much hope.
Oh,
Well.
oh,
Talk about yearning.
absolutely.
Oh,
I mean,
please
he wanted to
forgive
be her
me.
tampon. So let's talk about that.
Woo!
Please forgive me was the name of
Please
the
forgive
audio.
me. But
Ooh,
he
yeah.
also had
Yep.
Edge
The
with Benefits.
Edge with Benefits was Edge with Benefits was one of the
Mhm.
first audios I heard of his, and I was unwell.
Undone. Okay, because that boy was acting. Okay,
He was acting
with his whole chest.
face
It was
off.
very much. It was very much like, and that was when I first clutched my chest and was like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
he wants that bitch back."
So the scenario is they were friends with benefits, but she starts like seeing this guy that doesn't treat her very well. And he realizes that, he loves this woman. But they're still kind of hooking up every now and then. And so she comes over to get her little piece. And he's mad because after that, she's going to go see Homeboy.
She's gonna go see Homeboy.
And so she's like, fine, I'll leave then. And he's like, no, don't
like, "No,
leave. And
don't leave."
then he puts up against the wall and declares his
destroys her
feelings.
while ruining her.
Wow. Yes. And it's and the whisper voice he was, oh my
goodness.
It's like a fucking Hosier album.
It really was.
And there was a confession in there, and it was desperate.
Also like a Hosier album. God,
Yeah.
Wait, what's the
Like,
name
and I
of
know
this
you
audio again?
This was Edge with Benefits.
Oh, right.
Yeah, go ahead.
By Mr. Nadarius Devante Francois Sound.
There's more though.
He has another one I like. I'm Begging You.
Yes.
Which
I'm
is
begging you.
legit what we were what
yeah.
the is. Like, if you gotta be explicit with me because I'm a little dense.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta tell I'm begging you, bitch. Mm-hmm. Sit on my face. Bet.
Bet. And it was,
and don't hover, bet. I'm going full flush on that mouth, boy.
Mr. Sounds is the perfect example of the dom that'll, that when he switches, it's like
whiplash.
tectonic plates shift. And
are we all switches in here, or are we just like some good girl brats that will if competitive?
I'm a little switchy.
I'm very switchy.
We know you're switchy, Triple S.
I'm a little switchy. Mm-hmm.
A little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
Hey, that's it. That's what it is.
But can we talk about one tenderoni called Nick Meyer?
Oh,
and Nick Meyer,
the actual tenderoni of the week. That's a good segue.
Okay, we'll segue. But Nick Meyer has an audio. I cannot remember the name, but he goes out to fix the car tire of his friend's girlfriend, and he's had a thing for her, and the friend has just broken up with the boyfriend and kind of always breaks up with the boyfriend, knowing how this man feels about her. And I think it's a two-parter, maybe. I cannot remember the name of it, though. But he does a little bit of yearning, a little bit of desperation. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just, it flips the script when you hear it in. I feel like when I first heard it in audio erotica, it flipped a switch. It was so just the declarations, the confessions, the saying exactly what they desired about this, whoever the subject was, the listener, of course. Sorry, that flipped something. Yeah, but Nick Meyer is chef's kiss.
If anybody wants to find out the name of that audio, I mean, just for science, that'd be great.
For science and the
Uh,
listeners who
Yeah.
want to yearn.
And the listeners, right,
yes.
who
And
want to
then
yearn.
there's the Timmy one that you can't marry him. Listen, Timmy did too many things in this. First of all, it's historical, it's the accent,
Yes.
but oh, it's he.
Is
I
a
He's
don't
our
know. It's
mess.
like
previous tenderoni of the week, isn't he?
Our
yes,
inaugural tenderoni.
the
Inaugural tenderoni.
inaugural tenderoni.
The inaugural tenderoni.
Another yearning, like desperation. That's a word we haven't brought up. Is desperation, just like need,
Yes,
urgency.
Need.
yes.
Is that there's this one from like this guy Eli, where the premise is like the listener, his girlfriend they're polyamorous. And she goes out on another date, and he wants to taste the results, if you will.
My God.
It's called Let Me Taste Him. And I just think that the passion you have for your partner, giving the listener the runway to explore that side of them, being so comfortable with it, you're immensely turned on. Mwah. Bella.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
That one
What?
was delicious. I
It
listened.
It was
almost
so
makes
good.
me miss Quinn.
The
Almost.
desperation in his voice in that one. And how he just kept he literally devoured her. Like they barely got through the door.
And
That
he was
amazing.
saying, "Do you want to call him over, or I can go
Right.
over there? Like, what you want? Like,
Right.
that's hot."
I need to listen to this
Wow.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, he's got a handful of sub ones, but I like Eli. Eli doesn't give a good enough love.
Is that a
Shut up.
He does
tenderoni
not.
too?
Eli is amazing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's a
He has an
decent
elevator one that I like.
Yeah,
Mm.
It's not
you can tell
insub,
he's
but
a millennial tenderoni, and we like
Oh
those.
yeah, all of the femboy
Mhm.
audios. Those are my jam.
But also shout outs to Bloom and Cerebos. They do MW
Oh,
really well.
Cerberus can't. Cerberus, listen. That something. No, that's a demon.
Oh,
That is an
oh,
M
not a
sub
demon.
demon because
he is.
what does that
Yeah.
creature do?
Yeah.
Did you
I
say
listened to one
creature?
of his
I
no
said
creature.
creature.
She meant it too.
I did.
It's real. Because it's under the bones with him. Ugh. Ooh.
Under
I
the
mean,
bones.
Under the
oh,
The
bones.
bone or
All up in
bone?
the marrow. Just all up in it.
Well,
It
we're
was
people that eat the marrow, darling.
yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Cerberus does M subs
On a
to a
spiritual
different
level.
level. It
Very,
really
very good.
is.
Yeah. Because he was one of my early faves, and he. Mhm.
A ramble you can levitate
Mhm.
to.
Oh my God.
Precisely. It was named
Oh my
accurately
God.
because I
That
blasted
one.
off to space. I may not even be on Earth right now.
I'm still gone.
I'm high. I'm from outer space. I'm gone.
Also, one random shout out. If you're on Rum's Patreon, he has a whole little M sub. There's
Yes.
a two-parter where he's like a subby baker, and like a customer comes in and just like upends his day in the best way possible. Two-parter. Go check that one out.
Rummy boy.
You
Yeah.
know another one that I love, like an M sub, because I love like an apology, and we were talking about that one, the
Oh
please
yes.
forgive me audio.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
An audio that I wore out was "Let Me Up" by Tom York
Mm.
Oh, that is
because he like knew he fumbled and was like, and came back to beg essentially.
Mm.
I mean, even to the point he's like, "Listen, we're not gonna do any of this because I want you to know that I'm here because I want you." And
I
she's
can
like, "I
also
didn't agree to
see.
those terms, so we doing the thing." But
I
Mm.
can see Tom York singing Jodeci. I don't know why.
for
With
sure,
a very
With a
loud
British
finish.
accent.
With a very British accent.
yes, and
Yeah.
that little flower carpet looking jacket he likes to wear. He's so cute.
Do we want to talk about M sub audios that didn't hit it?
Mm.
Hit the mark before we go to Tenderoni. Since we're being messy, Camille.
I will say, okay, so I will say something. I already know that it's not going to hit for me if I can tell that the VA is not into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's with a lot of things.
But especially this.
With a lot of things, but especially that. Because the forgiveness, when it comes to something like a forgiveness audio that Triple S was talking about, your apology has to land. It has to be correct. We're not crawling back to half-ass apologies, man.
And I think sometimes people call something insub and it's just like topping from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Like this person still wants to very much be in control of what's going on and they're still dictating everything that's going on. And it's like, that's not actually insub. Or that's not actually sub at all, or whatever sub you're trying
Agree.
to be. Like just because you're like, oh, you're like trying to make it sound like it's my idea, but you're still directing everything. Like that's not what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the whining.
No whining.
Nor.
Don't do that.
Mm-mm.
That's not cute.
I mean, some people might like the whining. I don't.
Wait.
I don't want you to whine.
I think
We
that was
totally forgot something.
What
the
did we
whining versus
forget?
begging.
For those who watched the series Vikings, Ragnar and Ethelstan.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Yearning?
Mhm.
Desperation?
Yes.
Regret? Anyway, I'm sorry. I said Nor, and then I remembered.
Like, yeah, Ragnar was literally yearning after his death. Sorry if you haven't watched it. It's been out for years, so it's kind of
I haven't
Yeah.
watched it.
Spoiler.
Oh, okay. Thanks for spoiling it.
By the time he get to it, you won't remember.
You're right.
You won't remember. But he after Ethelstan's death, he yearned for that man. And it was heartbreaking.
Oh my God, it was gay yearning as well.
Take notes.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
not canonically.
It wasn't canonically gay? Okay.
No, but like it. I think the writers were just scared. They should have.
Oh.
Surely there were gay Vikings. All that.
No, duh, yeah.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have Christianity. There wasn't that same, they were a little bit freer than the.
So it was
Anglo-Saxons.
platonic. It was platonic yearning.
Well, they were friends,
Really?
but
They were in love.
They were in love.
Was it like a Turk and JD from Scrubs situation?
Oh.
Because every time they are away from each other and then they see each other like eagle and they embrace and spin each other around and they might.
It's the fact that they're still doing T-Mobile commercials together is enough.
Their podcast, Real Friends, Fake Doctors, was hilarious.
Ugh, I love that.
I haven't watched Scrubs in years, but
it's been a
Ragnar,
while.
Yeah. Ragnar wanted Ethelstan from the beginning. He did.
Yeah.
Also hot.
Yeah. Let's big up the dudes who are in loving platonic relationships and are not afraid to show it.
I don't know what it's called, but it definitely was a platonic. He would have took that man down if Ethelstan was with him.
Was it unrequited? Did his homie not feel the same way romantically but loved him?
Well, Ethelstan was a monk, so he was stuck in his Christian ways for a little bit. But if they had more time, I feel like we would have saw some things. But
like that bad?
Cheeks clapped.
Right.
We would have saw some things.
Tenderoni of the week.
Oh yes. Tenderoni.
What's the actual song?
Tenderoni.
My heart belongs to tenderoni.
Well,
tenderoni and cheese.
Only one.
Okay.
A drum roll, anyone? We're just gonna say it. You guys gonna say it on 1, 2, 3.
Hector.
Yay! You're our tenderoni of the week.
Precious angel baby.
We
not a precious angel baby at all.
Yes, just no one. There are a handful of people that do slutty golden retrievers. Well, Hector's definitely a top 3. you know, especially with, you know, just his attention to detail. He seems very thoughtful in what he's putting out.
Very
His
candid.
rambles are elite.
Elite.
Oh,
Immaculate.
Has
Um,
great accent work. Great. all of
very
that.
thoughtful in all of the choices and studies that he does. A handful of articles picking up the pieces. That's an M-subby one.
oof.
The Summoning, that little series, that
Yes.
one, that is very yearny.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The thing I like
Wasn't
about Hector is that like he's not afraid to. He just seems like he's comfortable within himself,
Yes.
and I like that
100%. Yeah.
because you can't be vulnerable. You can't do all of these things unless you are comfortable with who you are as a person,
hmm
and that really shines through his work, and I really like that.
Yeah. It really it lends itself to his versatility, the way he's comfortable with himself. It can just
Absolutely.
bend and mold into anything, and it creates a wonderful experience overall.
It does. I mean, and even like social media Hector. I'm just like, you
He's so fun.
actually
so charming.
So
you
cute.
like you actually like women. Look at
You
you.
like what? Look at you over
Look
there.
at you.
We love to see it.
We
You know, I
do.
know rail
He's not
against
out. He's not out here in Applebee's, you know.
what's that
Ugh,
fucker's name?
Good Lord.
yuck.
Noble.
Ah!
Fuck it. Go back to trying. Like we can tell you're not trying. We can tell you're not trying, Noble. Wubble up there.
Whoa, whoa. Can we put that on a shirt?
Back to Hector. We're gonna. Yeah, I think it's already on the
Wub
Yes,
that.
Hector.
Yeah. A couple more audios from Hector. There was a really cool one that came out a month or so ago that it was called it was a steampunk one. What was it called, y'all? At her pleasure.
At her pleasure.
That was an
Oh.
M-subby one, right? I like that one because it was a kind of world and scenario that we haven't really seen before. It was very imaginative and like him traversing the universe, if you will, to find this one person. And then he finally captures her after like what, like 18 months, 2 years or something like that. Like can't get this person off his mind. And finally sees her just like has to have her take him side.
In general, his collaborations with BQC have been
Shout out to
phenomenal.
the BQC.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Shout
the
out.
BQC has
For the
been killing the
people.
game.
Indeed.
And those of BQC who've worked with Hector, amazing, phenomenal.
There's also another one that
Chef's
was
kiss.
Sweet Reassurance that it wasn't necessarily subby, I don't recall, but the softness in it and the care he put in it was lovely. I think it's one of those situations where it's like, you know, you love being seen for who you are, and he really took that on. So I think that goes to the point of he's not afraid to show every side of
All
himself in
colors.
his work.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
this man is acting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like you can tell
acting
he
down.
acts.
Yeah.
I don't know if he
Yeah.
went to Howard Fine or something like that, or you know, wherever actors go to learn how to act, but he can
Yeah,
act.
sure. Yes.
Listen, well,
Yeah.
and that's what you were saying. It's like that how he feels about women comes across in his audio. Like, and you mentioned picking up the pieces. There's a quote from Picking Up the Pieces that I will never recover from because I'm a quote person. I love a one-liner. And so with Picking Up the Pieces, it was another situation like one of his friends had been on a bad date and he's like, what are you talking about? It's like you lost yourself for a second and I'm going to remind you. And while he's doing filthy things to her, he said, I'm going to tell you all the ways you're worth it and you're going to say it back. Like this is like mid, he's like, get on top.
Right.
I like
And I
that.
was like, pearls clutched.
Right.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has stuff like that in his rambles, and I'd be shocked. I'd be like,
Right. Like how you just going to pop off.
You're just gonna transform me from the inside out? Are you doing all
You're just
that?
gonna make me feel like there are men that actually respect and love women.
The
Oh
fuck?
my gosh! Imagine.
What is this?
What is
Imagine.
this?
Wow,
I
that's
bet.
hot.
I bet my wit wouldn't exhaust Hector.
Oh, absolutely
Ha!
not.
Probably not.
No.
Right?
He would enjoy it.
But eat it right up. Eat it right up and have
Along with
What
seconds.
other
kind of
things.
lip, though?
And have seconds. Among other things. Yeah.
I see you with like a flogger with all those little tassel things.
Mm.
I like a flogger because I like to do like tickle, snap.
I need, ah.
Friends, you really should see Trisha's hand motion.
I
Yeah, I
wish.
saw.
I wish
That
you
was.
could see her little.
I enjoyed
hand
that.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, so shout out our tenderoni of the week, Hector.
Hector, yay!
You're divine.
You
Keep
He
deserve
deserves
what
it.
you're
more.
doing.
He
You
deserves more
deserve it.
plays, more recognition,
More
everything.
recognition, more plays, all the love. You're excellent. Thank you.
Bad.
Yes.
Thank you for doing what you do, bro. We love getting off to it. Okay, cool. What else, gang?
Mm.
Do we have parting wisdom?
Yeah. We can wrap this up. What are our takeaways here, gang? This has been a great conversation, but my first takeaway is know the difference between submission and submissive, and make sure that conversations are had and that your partner knows and trusts you not to abuse that seeding, that literal seeding of that gift, like Triple S said earlier, that like giving someone control of you is a gift. Don't abuse it.
There's no submission or domination or power dynamics, power exchanges without trust. And there's no trust without communication. And I feel like that's the overarching thing here.
Mm-hmm.
For men and male presenting people, it is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to be soft. There's no such thing as and I don't see that as something that should be seen as negative. Because oftentimes soft when referring to men is it has a negative connotation to it. But I think everybody, regardless of how they identify on the gender spectrum, should have the ability to express the full range of their emotions because we're all human beings and we should, be able to do that. So if you are a male VA and you are doing these audios, make sure that you are comfortable with doing them and that you feel free in expressing yourself in that way.
Well said. I also want to mention that this is obviously us discussing yearning from the female gaze, and we want to be respectful that this is just our take on what makes sub and yearning and what we like to hear, and that might be it. A lot of things that you've heard here are probably what you like, but yearning and wanting to be wanted and needed by your partner is different for everyone. So explore yearning on your own terms, but this is what we like. So you can lighten that from, and we had like a handful of things like our favorite couples who yearned in pop culture, like Overton and Sinclair from Living Single, or things like that, or Dwayne and Whitley, or in books and things like that. So if you have yearning things that define yearning to you, let us know in the comments wherever you're listening to this podcast. We love your feedback.
Yeah, put us on. I'm always looking for book recs and shows to
we
watch.
need book recs.
Book recs, audio recs, anything.
I love yearning.
We love yearning.
Yes.
So I guess the soundtrack to this one will be Hosier. Francesca.
That's such a good song.
He told me, tell him to put me back in.
Ooh.
Bruh.
Ooh.
Okay, Andrew. All right, fine.
Yeah, Andrew is the captain of the yearners. He is
Andrew.
He's been yearning all his life.
Fucking tall, sexy, faking.
He said, "No grave will hold my body down. I'll crawl back to her."
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Fuck me.
Right here.
And that
Smart.
man is 6'6", so he don't even have to work that hard to crawl out of the grave.
Oh, beautiful. There's
I
another man who
mean, that's
loves
a good
women
point.
who's 6'6" too.
That's
We
a
didn't
good
talk about
point.
that. That's another time.
Well, those would be the
Mhm.
outtakes. We can always make up reasons to talk about him.
Mm.
So he
I
definitely
think.
learned from the Jodices of yore.
Mhm.
The Jodices of yore
Anyone listening?
and the high stepping Drew Hills of yore.
Yeah.
Tell me what
Yes.
you want. We do not own this song.
We
Tell me
don't.
what you need.
Look, somebody's bouncing right now.
Right
Go
now.
ahead.
He
Go
he
ahead.
definitely went to
My
the
knee
church
went
of
up.
90s R&B.
And so hopefully someone who's listening is about to bounce on something
Oh,
that wants
amen.
them back.
Please.
Amen.
I'm not.
Please.
No
Um,
hands.
No hands. Well, thank you guys for listening to Lunch at the Unfriendly Black Hotties Table. Make sure you're being yearned for, and if you aren't being yearned, don't take it.
That's it. Period.
That's it.
Yeah, I think
Mic
that's it.
drop.
Right.
Literal mic drop.
Put it back.
Put it
Thanks,
back.
everybody.
Bye.
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 Hey.
Did you like what you heard on today's episode? Well, if you're good, you're allowed to come back for more by hitting the follow and subscribe buttons wherever you're currently listening. And don't forget to follow WBQC on Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Substack. See you next time. Lunch at the Unfriendly Black Hotties podcast is a WBQC production. 2025, all rights reserved.